Welcome back, everybody, to the Miami Marlins franchise. I have made my decision when it comes to starting pitcher Yuri Perez, and today we are making the boldest move of the franchise. Today I'm going to be trading away ace pitcher Yuri Perez. We have just not seen things come together the way I wanted to in this series. And by no means has he been a bad pitcher. He's actually been pretty consistent, but he hasn't been that top of the rotation ace that this team has really been seeking. His numbers on the surface have consistently been more impressive than his more advanced numbers. He has not made it to an all-star game in this series, and he hasn't pitched at a very high level. He is set to be a free agent at the end of the year, and I am not going to be giving him a contract extension. I need an ace pitcher that we can take into the postseason and trust to win us the big elimination games. And playing with Yuri Perez throughout this series, I have not been able to put together great starts with him. Consistently, we're giving up far too many home runs, hard contact, and we don't have the kinds of starts you expect from an ace pitcher. This last stretch of games has really cemented things for me. I think this team needs an upgrade. And with a week ahead of the deadline, the time is now to make a move. I posed the question of which pitcher should we look to add at the end of last episode. Would it be starting pitcher Peralta of the Yankees? Or would we think about adding a pitcher with another year of team control ahead of free agency and maybe seeing if Chase Dollander can improve upon his play in Colorado? I saw a lot of support for Dollander in the comment section. That would be the more traditional move to make and the easier player to acquire. But with the Yankees out of the playoff race and Peralta a proven ace pitcher, he has become my target, and that's with him making $37 million a year for the rest of this season and the next two. I think Peralta is the type of player that can be the difference between us winning a title right now or not. He's one of the 6 highest rated pitchers in the franchise. He's posted consistent high WARs and has proven to be an ace. This is not going to be a simple trade, especially because I'm not just going to be throwing prospects at the Yankees. That would require us to give up a couple of our best prospects plus an extra player that we'd be throwing in. And I still hope that we can develop Jorge Vizcaino, and I want our best prospect pitcher to stay in the organization. They don't like Vladimir Ortiz nearly as much. And at the end of the day, I need to go into the postseason with 5 pitchers, and I am very comfortable pitching with the other 4 starters that we have. Kyle Harrison, Shane Baz, and Noble Meyer have been in really good form. I guess one question mark to have right here is with Ryan Pepiot, because the regression has been hitting his ratings, but it hasn't actually hit his play all that significantly. Over his last 10, he's still preventing home runs, giving up a 3.5 ERA, pitching like he has for the better part of the last 2 years. I feel like because he has that high hit per 9, he's going to still pitch well despite the overall falling. So I am giving the New York Yankees a chance to add Yuri Perez, have the first chance at re-signing him, and I'm going to be including starting pitcher Pablo Carrillo in the deal. He was the 31st pick of ours in year 4, a prospect promotion incentive pick actually. He's still a few years away from the bigs. I am also going to include Javier Sanoja in the deal. I like Sanoja, but we haven't found a role for him, and we have some other second basemen that are coming up that I think will have a chance at making more of an impact on the Major League roster. So that is going to be the trade, and the deal is done. We are no longer constrained by the same budget we had at the early part of the series. Our budget jumped significantly just going from the offseason to this current year, making this acquisition possible. This is not normally the type of trade I look to make, but in this situation, I think this is the move that gets us better ahead of October as we try to win a World Series for this team. I know it's a big move and a very risky one. Peralta comes in with good numbers overall, and by that 3-11 win-loss record, you can tell the Yankees are not having a very good year. They've been terrible, as a matter of fact. Let's go to the AL East, where they are in last place. Meanwhile, our Marlins sit 4.5 games ahead of the New York Mets, expected to win this division, and we want to go further than we did last season. So let's continue on the road, everybody. The road to October. We're going to go through the trade deadline, take a peek at how our draft picks from the last episode are. And of course, today we're going to see Freddie Peralta's Marlin debut, which is actually scheduled to be against his former team in the Milwaukee Brewers, where he would have opened this series as their ace. So, with 3 straight victories, we start off here today against the San Diego Padres. And here is Shane Baz with some trouble in the 4th inning. Marlins down 2-1. And it's lined to left field, and quickly we'll get the action started. Padres building their lead, but Drew Jones keeps them from tacking on a second run. Jones is healthy again. His defense so impressive in the outfield. Let's see if we get any offense here in this game. And, well, we scored 3. Augustin Ramirez hits a homer. Suddenly we hold the lead. But Kenny Norris has a runner aboard, facing Ethan Salas. Norris falling behind, and then the 99-mile-per-hour fastball runs things full. 3-2 now, and getting away from Ohapi, we'll get an out over here instead. I think that's a pretty fair trade for us. Norris getting tired here after right around 10 pitches. 1-2, and a bouncer. Grieve to second, and a double play. I really think the pitching has come a long way in this series, even from just 2 years ago. But the thing that we've been missing is that top of the rotation presence, the guy you count on in those big games to go deep and limit the opposing offense, especially in the postseason. I think we have the rotational depth, the late inning bullpen guys. We just need that ace pitcher, and Freddie Peralta will hopefully be that guy for us. But here's one of the young pitchers in Brian Ariano, and Ethan Salas is waiting for a strike. There we go, got one. 3-1 curve taken just low. Bases loaded, Marlins up 3. And Cronenworth belts one to the gap as Jones tracks it down. 1 scores. Line drive, Marcelo Meyer back, and the inning comes to an end. Marlins closing in on a potential sweep of the Padres. And, a 9-5 game. Brent Rooker has a 13-game hitting streak. 92 RBIs, a lot of time on the clock, too, in Season 6. And that's a drive to right center, and gone! First swing of the day. Marlins open it up as they look to sweep another series. And the RBIs just continue to climb for Brent Rooker. That is 3 more. Nearly 100 before the trade deadline. Quite fitting for a guy who was our trade deadline acquisition of last year. That is a win for Miami. Final score 11-5. We head out on the road now. Jacob Mizorowski pitching here in the first game as the Marlins score an 8-3 victory and have their 5th consecutive. Kyle Harrison continues to give us very good outings. Ryan Pepio has a minor injury. He's going to be all right. We defeat the Brewers again with an entire week of wins. Pepio went 5 1/3 scoreless before having to exit. Well, let's go now. The first big game of the day. We got Freddie Peralta taking the mound for the Marlins. Peralta's fastball isn't as overpowering as Yuri Perez, but he has good command of it. His slider also not nearly as good as Perez, who has really good control of his. But the circle change is how he complements that fastball. Also throws a 12-6 curve. Man, imagine this game doesn't go well. I'm never going to hear the end of it. I was actually somewhat surprised to see that there was so much support for the Dolander deal. I agree that for most teams, he's intriguing to kick the tires on and see outside of Colorado. Do the home run numbers get better? Can you take him a step further? I do think he's going to be better the remainder of this series than he has been to this point. But for a team looking for that final piece, I thought Freddie Peralta was the slam dunk choice. And what a place for his Marlins debut to happen. We'll face Lawrence Butler and get underway. Freddie Peralta. Here we go. With a fastball drilled into center field. And Butler has a base hit. That was 108 off the bat. All right, got the first hit out of the way. And a slider now in there for strike one. Already in this episode, we've added a few more games to our lead in the division. It's up to 7.5. The changeup induces a swing and miss from Jared Triolo. And popped up on the 12-6 curve. That's in center field. And the first out. First pitch change. Another swing and miss. And a soft tapper on the fastball. Peralta's going to cover. It is a fielder's choice of Nolan Shonowell. And Jackson Chourio only hitting .234 with 8 home runs. Just one all-star appearance, I think, in this franchise. That ball gets smashed to left field, but right there to make the catch. Couple of hard-hit balls, not the strongest inning, but only one base runner who doesn't make it past first base. And a 2-0 lead as we try to keep this win streak rolling. One thing, too, about Peralta is his strikeout numbers have overall been better than Perez. I'm hoping to see that translate. So far, 4 outs, all in play. Pitching from behind now, and Perez gives up a fly to center. That, again, is hauled in. Not sure why that one isn't a strike. Pretty good pitch to start against TJ Friedel. And weak contact into left center field. Pretty good first 2 innings, working quickly through this Brewers lineup. Dropping in the 12-6 curve. Still waiting on that first strikeout. I think it's going to happen here in this AB. Ahead of Jefferson Caro, and that is strike 3 looking as we go to the circle change. One thing I've talked about, too, in the games with Perez is how he wasn't able to get through at-bats and innings very quickly. This is just the first start for Peralta, but already you gotta love the pace things are on, as we are just now approaching 30 pitches in the 3rd inning. And the fastball is by Brock Wilken. Count is full, and another weak fly ball that will end, well, not end the inning, that's just the 2nd out.
1-1-1.
One pitch, ground ball, and it's been 3 scoreless. You know, that's nice of them to still show so much support for Peralta after leaving to the Yankees and now coming back as a Marlin. Shout out to the Brewers fans for the MVP chant that was totally directed at Freddie Peralta. 0-2 now on Nolan Shonowell. Got him looking! Frozen! Chourio squares one up. That's 111 off the bat. And he's looking for 2, and he's going to get it. I don't see that one often stretched. That changeup, though, I'm already liking that pitch. They have not done much with it. Oh boy. Ripped to right field, high and deep, and that ball is gone. They have ran into some hard contact already. Jose Tena with a 2-run home run. Yep, curveball that didn't stay down. So the first runs and first home run given up by Peralta. See if we can settle in and still get some more innings out of him now. Tie game. That changeup's getting a lot of swings and misses too, so that's going to definitely be our primary 2-strike pitch. Back to it for strike 3, ending the inning. Sharp single here in the 5th inning. Yeah, the stuff that they've hit really hard. And Butler now. Hopefully that stays in the park. And it does get run down. Definitely some nervous balls put in play here. Butler just missing a 2-run homer. But we are through 5. 57 pitches in for Peralta. And it feels like what they're hitting the best is just off speed that is not hitting its location. I haven't thrown nearly as many fastballs with Peralta, but maybe need to go with a few more. We'll go 3-2, change up, and he swings over the top. Nice sliding play. Xavier Edwards, I feel like he's gotten a lot better on defense. I think, though, as long as he can command that fastball, got to lean on that. They haven't really done anything with it. Checking out his baseball savant, Peralta throws a fastball 57% of the time and a changeup 20%. And I've been throwing a lot more sliders and curveballs in this outing. So we are now in the 7th, and it hasn't taken that long getting here. 71 pitches. And we'll see if he can grab a few more outs. That's under the glove of Johnny Grieve. And that's where his day is going to come to an end. An up and down start, but I thought there was a lot of good. And as I learn how to pitch with him, we should get, ideally, even better results. The Brewers do go on to add on some more runs. I have a feeling a 3rd run is going to be charged to Freddie Peralta as they do end our winning streak. Peralta does take the loss with 6 innings pitched, 3 runs, 4 strikeouts, and 5 hits. The thing I didn't like was just how hard they hit the off-speed stuff, and their exit velocities were very high, frighteningly high. But that's all right. We're back on track in our next game, continuing our road trip. And the Marlins then beat the Cardinals 10-0, scoring 17 runs in the first 2 games of the series. We are just ahead of the deadline, and I don't think there's anything that we're really needing right now after adding Freddie Peralta and bringing Doug Butcher up to the major league level. I feel like this team is ready, as long as we stay healthy, to make another run at a World Series. I've talked recently about shortstop Hank Holder being more of a second-half player. That's what we've seen from him throughout his career, and wouldn't you know it, he is taking off again here in the second half of the season. The numbers still lag behind last year, but how much can he make up now in the final months of year 6? We are seeking yet another sweep. We got Johnny Grieve playing great, Xavier Edwards playing great, and of course, Hank Holder has a 17-game hitting streak. Andre Palante is the starting pitcher today for St. Louis. We have a lot of familiarity with him on the channel, so just throw me some of those 12-6s and let's get this show on the road. Nope, he starts us fastball. That's in the air, hit to left. And run down as Hank is retired. Cardinals lead 3-0 as Hank tries again. not hit as hard as he's capable of, and a diving play just took away an extra base hit. Alex Verdugo keeps him from making it 18 consecutive. Here it is again. What a catch. All right, this is not a good day for our pitching, clearly. Bad outing for Kyle Harrison. It is 11-0. Why be patient? He's just giving us fastballs to swing at. That's to right center. 0 for 3. And Holder with the drive. This could be his last chance to extend the streak, and it's a solo home run. And the Marlins now are only down by 9. And Hank does extend it to 18 games. That's going to be ball game, though. Holder pops out to finish this one. Can't get the sweep. You'll run into bad days like this. That's all right. They're few and far between. And we have now passed the trade deadline. We, of course, made our major move. We see that the Orioles have actually acquired Jonah Bride, so he's been a trade deadline acquisition like 3 times now in this series. But I don't think there was anything else on the level of the Freddie Peralta deal. And the Orioles are actually in the playoff hunt, so them adding Jonah Bride does make some sense. How is Jonah Bride playing this year? Okay, this is brutal. They acquired Jonah Bride, and then he dislocated his ankle and is suddenly done for the season. I actually considered adding him again, but there wasn't really a spot on the roster I thought was easy to slide him into. But yeah, Jonah Bride's season is done right after being acquired by the Orioles. He got to play 1 game with them, and that was it. That's brutal. As we get into August, we can now take a look at the ratings for our players taken in this past draft. I had a different approach this year. I wanted to find players who had college experience and would have a shorter path to the majors. Our first 2 picks were 21 years old. We also took a 19-year-old center fielder. Here are the ratings, as Ernest Phillips has 81 potential. He's going to start as a 75. I was hoping for a little bit higher potential, but he has that day 1 starting overall of 75. Very good at preventing walks. High hit per 9. The strikeout per 9 rating is very low, so it's hard to say how he'd pitch at the majors with this exact skill set, but we do have one player we could compare him to with Angels' Jason Sellers, who was a pitcher drafted in this series who had that same skill set. His K per 9 is up to 54, and that's after years of already playing at the major leagues. But the hit per 9 and walk per 9 ratings are very strong, and they're some of the best indicators of success at the majors. Now, without better strikeout numbers, you're never going to grade well with the advanced metrics, but I think Phillips definitely has a chance to find a role on this team. And honestly, to get this caliber of player at 28, I still feel pretty good about it. Then we get to closing pitcher Juan Villa, 91 potential. He will open as a 63, which as a reliever is basically ready to join a rotation if you need him to. I don't think I'll ask him to immediately, but I think that maybe in year 7, he could end up earning a chance. But high potential reliever again. I wanted to add a couple more of those. Then we get 88 potential here with center fielder Alexis Sanchez, who is just a well-graded player on the board. But given where we are in the series and him being a 50 overall, likely doesn't make a significant impact in the franchise. Daryl Dodson is a pitcher who has only 73 potential, so probably not going to make it to the majors. He opens as a 61. Danny McDermott, 50 overall starting point, just like Alexis Sanchez, 84 potential. Just thought he'd be one of the better picks we could make in the 5th round, and likely was. And then our last pick, William Yamaguchi. I didn't have much info on him, and he only has 66 potential, so I don't think he'll end up making it to the majors either. At this stage of the series, though, I'm just hoping to get a couple players that might be able to help us out, and I think we got that with our first two selections. I had some other options, of course. One of them was starting pitcher Irvin Erdahl, who I did not take because I thought he would just be so many years away from the majors, and he is, with higher potential than Ernest Phillips. This is not a surprising trade-off. The Royals had taken one of my favorite relievers after we selected Phillips. Patrick Reyes has 72 overall to start out with 88 potential. So he's one of the best relievers to come out of this class. I was kind of bummed when the Twins had taken Freddie Wooten. I thought he'd have a little bit higher overall and potential, but turns out he's probably not going to make it to the 70s. As far as the blue chip players to come out of this class, the Phillies took Jack Conley, I think, number 1 or 2. He went in the top 3. 76 overall. We should be seeing him at the majors, I think, pretty quickly. 15 pitching clutch, though, is a terrible draw there. The Pirates took a catcher, Henry Garcia, in the first round. He has 70 overall with 92 potential. One of the better catching prospects we've seen come through these classes. And the Tigers had taken Vance Johnson in the top 3, a 19-year-old shortstop. 90 potential, 64 starting overall. Probably a year or two away from being a really good shortstop. Overall, though, this doesn't seem like the best overall draft class we've seen come through this series. And picking at 28, I'm happy with what we ended up coming away with. Next up for Miami, as we get into August, we have a series with the New York Yankees. Let's get past the Friday game here, where the Marlins do win 6-1. Starting these series off the right way. 6 good innings from Ryan Pepio. But next up for us, what are the chances we get Freddie Peralta versus Yuri Perez in Miami? When I saw this series was going to be coming up, I knew that I had to set up the rotation for this meeting to happen. And also, it gave each the ideal rest. I can't believe this number here that I'm seeing. I have not given enough attention to Johnny Grieve this year. These rating boosts are incredible. Johnny is up to an 85 overall. And he has hit 17 home runs. He came into this season with 10 in his career and has now hit 17 in his last 104 games, including 3 in his last 10. We have seen the transformation of Johnny Grieve. This is amazing. And I think this is the perfect game to break away from the critical situation games and get in a full game of action. Let's see where these players are and face our former ace in Yuri Perez. Usually you gotta wait a lot longer for these types of reunion games. Oh, we're scoring almost 7 runs a game over our last 11. That sounds pretty good. Johnny Grieve hitting 367 over his last 15. I always believed in you, Johnny. I can't say the same about everybody in the comments, though. I know there are a lot of Johnny doubters down there, whether it's Johnny Grieve or Johnny Sampson. But let's get Freddie Peralta out to face the Yankees. Just face your old teams. First and second start in your new city. And it's his first start in Miami as well. Starting with the fastball at 94. Looking for our 69th victory here this season. Back-to-back fastballs, 0-2. And a ground ball. Holder tracks it down. Long throw. And not in time. Volpe beats it out. Hank Holder makes some of the best almost plays that you'll ever see. As we keep an eye over on Anthony Volpe. Oh, wow. We're facing Javier Sanoja. He's actually starting for the Yankees. Well, I'm happy to see that he has a chance to play at the bigs. Into right. Josh Lowe makes the grab. Whoa, Amari Cora just had a 9 RBI game for the Giants. If I can remember to check that out, I got to see his box score on the day. 9 RBIs is incredible. Dropped into Yuri Perez. 17th pitch of the inning, and he misses low and inside. Heck of a battle here. We've thrown an awful lot at Paredes. 3-2, and another foul ball. He struck him out with a perfect fastball up and in. There's the tough fastball to get ahead. 16 strikes to 6 balls as we try to wrap this inning up. Changeup gets him. And now, what do we think about Yuri Perez as a New York Yankee? He's going to win the Cy Young next year. It's pretty much a guarantee. We've seen Edward Cabrera, Braxton Garrett, Sandy Alcantara, so many pitchers leave and then have the best season of their career. Already happened with Jordan Hicks, who we traded to the Yankees. Fly ball from Xavier Edwards. 1 pitch, 1 out for Perez. Check out all the batting averages, though. We only have a couple players hitting under 270. That's how loaded things are. We are giving Evan Carter the off day. He had some energy that, he can replenish this game. And Doug Butcher's going to start. He has barely gotten to play. He only had a few at-bats for all of July. And we could definitely afford to rest some players and keep everybody fresh as we are now 10 games up in the NL East. Yuri Perez ahead of Holder. Got him! 100, top of the zone. And Brent Rooker sends a laser to left center. That ball is smoked, and it's a home run. That was a nasty 405-foot line drive shot. 28th of the season. Second of the episode for me already. And a 1-0 start against our former pitcher. Give me the trajectory of this one now. And that thing never got very high at all. Oh boy, I thought we were going back to back. But Connor Norby hits one significantly higher that doesn't leave the infield. That's going to be potential extra bases. We'll see about the speed here. And Gavin Sheets will hold up with a single. Way ahead of it. And he even reached back to get 97 on that fastball. Got him on a painted fastball. Strike 3. Certainly eyeing a quicker second inning this time. Rowdy Tellez behind and bounces it. Either you're going to miss it or you're going to wish you did. How about the tear this guy has been on? Josh Lowe. Now with trading Perez and acquiring Peralta, we've effectively gotten a jump start on the offseason then, where Perez was going to be a free agent. So how does this impact then upcoming contracts? Lowe is a free agent at season's end. Brent Rooker will be again. Connor Norby. Certainly Peralta takes a big piece of the salary puzzle, but the budget has gotten so high, I'm still not sure if we're going to have to let someone walk simply because of the contract demand. Josh Lowe, left center, and that's run down. Johnny Grief, 53 RBIs is a career high. Seriously? Well, this is easily his best season of the franchise in so many ways. Just a piece of that slider. But not that one, strike 3. And here is Doug Butcher. He's played well in 30 at-bats so far in his young career. He is still chasing that first home run, but he's still been productive, still been developing. And just a little bit late, and Butcher dumps a single into left. The lineup is so deep, I have Logan O'Hoppe hitting 8th. And I don't think he's had a disappointing season. 245, 15 homers. Isn't this about what we expected? But everybody is playing well. This team, top to bottom, has never looked more complete. Back up the middle and through a base hit. And hitting 9th is Joe Brown, the one player who has still struggled and hasn't played at the same level as everybody else, but that's going to split the gap. Extra bases with 2 runs coming home. What a 2-out rally started by Doug Butcher. I mean, when a rookie with 30 at-bats starts this, and then our weakest starting position player ends it, what do? Speaking of former Marlins in this series, we added Miguel Amaya last year. He's now with New York. Bouncing to Hank Holder. Great play.
He's out.
To right field goes Thairo Estrada for a Yankee single. And a high drive from Anthony Volpe. That's Norby going back with plenty of room. Swing and a miss there on the circle change. Feels like one of the better changeups I've gotten to use in quite some time, but Sanoha now with a base hit. Butcher playing center field, and oh boy. Yep, that's going to be, wow, a run? How do you score on that? Sanoha hustling, and I can't believe we did not throw him out on that. You're telling me first to home on a cutoff, what should have been single. And then we get the weak ground out, or ground ball, that becomes a ground out, and we're through 3. Trying to continue that hitting streak now for Hank Holder. I think it's up to 20. Wow, these last 2 swings usually result in 435-foot blasts. Instead, Perez will win this battle.
Yep, he's out.
Single for Brent Rooker off the mound. And a nice piece of hitting the other way. Connor Norby with extras. Rooker to third will hold him. And the Marlins have another scoring chance. And this is Josh Lowe. 2-2. Got him on a changeup. Perez needs to end this inning if he wants to come back out for another inning or 2. We'll see if he can get Johnny. 3 tough pitches to do much with here to start the at-bats.
No.
Then missing. Got on top of that one. And Johnny Grieve is out as the Marlins strand 2. Hard to throw one better than that. Top of the 4th for Peralta. He has had to use a lot of pitches to get through the first few frames. We'll see how the next couple go. Past Joe Brown, and the Yankees have their 5th hit. Backdoor slider as we switch things up, getting ahead of Spencer Jones. And hard hit to second base. One there. Fielder's choice. Runner takes off now, but it catches Rowdy Tellez in the elbow. 2 aboard from Miguel Amaya. That's over the third base bag. Slow roller, 2, and the Yankees will score again. A couple former Marlins contributing to runs being put on the board. Should also keep in mind that we traded for Peralta amid a cold streak, and he's still in it. So our main goal is to hopefully get him out of it with a couple quality starts. 2 on, 2 already scoring for the Yankees. 71 pitches. And a line drive straight to Butcher. One thing, too, Doug Butcher's contact against righties is now up to a 99. It was 97 when we called him up. The MVP chant for a guy with under 40 career plate appearances is pretty incredible. Keep going. I support it. Oh, come on. He hits Butcher in the elbow. This is one guy I'm going to get nervous about taking hit by pitches, but he's all right. Extending his lead, and he's gone. That's a stolen base for Doug Butcher. Number 2 in his career. Fly ball center field. Not a taggable out. Joe Brown with a drive. I think we can at least tag on this one. That's Sanoha on the track, by the way, as he's playing in right field. This guy's due for a hit right here. Xavier Edwards. 2 outs in the 4th. Oh, he popped that up? Are you serious? Slider up, good timing. Sanoha makes the catch. Neither pitcher has been shut down. Peralta a little bit better to this point, and I think this might be a 5-inning day if he can get through the top of the Yankees order once more. Got him! Nasty fastball. Sanoha pops it up. It's time for him to stop making plays against us. And a high fly that we should be able to contain. And Peralta is through 5. Not a bad start, but I think at least stacking this with his debut should hopefully get him out of the cold streak, as both teams now will turn it over to their bullpens. Let's hope we have some lefties coming up in this inning. And Holder with the drive, deep to left. Marlins add another run on a solo homer. The streak continues. Well over 20 games now for Hank Holder. 14th of the season. If we could just get you to show up in April, Hank, maybe you'd be in the All-Star game, in that MVP hunt. The season doesn't officially start for him until he comes out of the All-Star break. Josh Lowe, scorching base hit to center. Oh, that is an awful call. There goes Lowe. Pitches inside. He works into scoring position. Johnny goes down to get one, sends it deep to left field, and it's run down on the track. And it's Brian Ariano who relieves Freddie Peralta and has the same kind of plan of attack. Fastball, changeup. His combination not nearly as good as Peralta. So how do we feel now about the construction of his team going into October? I think with our offense, we can, of course, score with anybody. But I'm hoping that we can see Peralta now down the stretch, get out of his cold streak, and put up some excellent starts. And give us a chance to go head-to-head with the likes of Roki Sasaki, Logan Webb, Tarek Skubal, whoever it may be. And that was one of the big reasons why I made the trade for him instead of Dollander. This strike zone's getting worse as the game goes on. You know, if I had Dollander, I think it would make this lineup deeper. But I certainly wasn't going to trade Perez for Dollander. And part of my decision came down to, I feel good pitching with the other pitchers. That's a pick. Ball don't lie. Oh, God, it does. It lies terribly. I feel good about pitching with our other 4 starters. It's been Yuri Perez that I haven't been able to figure out. Regular season, postseason, I'm purposefully been playing a lot with him. to try and get better or see the results come around. But it was time to make a move like this while we have this loaded offense with a few players on expiring contracts. Go get a Freddie Peralta, make a change, and let's see how the year goes. Oh, you want second base? Oh, Hoppy gets in. Get out of here. Butcher, that's a hit into right field. He is close to hitting 400 as a bench player. And again, swiping. Oh, he's out. 97 steal. I'm just going to send him almost every time. I haven't pitched much with Declan Cronin, but I called him up with the Milt Merrifield struggles requiring us to make a move. So I should get in some reps. But as of right now, he's kind of lower on the pecking order to get innings. More of a low leverage guy until further notice, but he has played pretty effectively this year. The batter is Rowdy Tellez, a good low ball hitter with a base hit. I like the way that Cronin complements some of the other pitchers. Like, he's a sinker ball pitcher that can come out of the bullpen. So maybe he's good for trying to induce a ground ball double play. But at least he offers a little bit different approach. And he's now given up a pair of hits. Tough spot here, and he does walk Volpe. So that may be it for Declan Cronin. We have Javier Sanoja and need to end the inning. In comes George Soriano, whose numbers are very strong this season. Barely allowing a 200 average to lefties or righties. And here we're looking to get out of here with the lead intact. Jammed him, and now we got a chance. Grounded. Grieve to the bag, and then fires across. Usually you want to come home there, but being just a step away, we do it this way instead. 5-3 double play. There we go. Edwards hits one hard to right center, and he's on the board here today with a 7th inning double. Chopper over the mound. Edwards to third. Still, Brent Rooker is hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. 283 for a guy that supplies as much power as him is incredible. I mean, that's why he's a 2-time MVP in the series. And down 0-2, he sends a laser up the middle. I mean, to hit a ball like that, 100 off the bat, he's different. Oh boy, you heard that sound. Connor Norby, deep into the upper deck, 431. 2-run homer as the Marlins extend the lead even further. And he's got 22. They absolutely love Norby, and hopefully we can keep as much of this team intact as possible. There really aren't any players that I'm hungry to move on from. It's going to come down to what we can handle. Soriano is having one heck of an outing. Got the double play in the 7th. He struck out the first 2 batters in the 8th. And then Gavin Sheets hits one deep into the upper deck. Doug Butcher now hitting 406. He's reached in all of his appearances today. And Butcher to right center, make it a 3-hit day. I don't think you're going to find a better player on any bench here in the franchise. As far as a pure hitter goes. I know I'm saying that about a guy who has 0 career home runs, but I mean, he's hitting over 400. Joe Brown, a single to center, another RBI for him. And Miami is just about done here in this game as Jose Hernandez, I think he's now struck out 4 batters or 3. And a ground ball, Johnny Grieve ends it. Freddie Peralta is a winner in his Marlins home debut as we defeat Yuri Perez and show we are one of the teams to beat as we approach October. And we have just struck a deal with outfielder Connor Norby, and we have signed him to an extension. This is a 3-year, $51 million contract. He's not going anywhere. I know I want to keep Connor Norby in Miami, and I love the player he's transformed into over the last 3 seasons. I have seen enough consistency, which I need from a player who's in the low 80s and probably isn't going to progress his ratings much more than this. But I think that these last 2 years have shown he has an extremely high ceiling, and he's handling himself well in left field. Norby is 3rd on the team in home runs this season. He is 3rd in RBIs, and he's posted one of the better batting averages throughout the season as well. The Marlins are now 69-41. We need to now see what type of shape this team is going to be in going into the later parts of the season. We'll see how far we make it today, but we do lose the finale to the Yankees. Jordan Hicks takes the victory. The Marlins stay home to take a series from the Astros. And now Freddie Peralta goes on the road to face the Atlanta Braves. Looks like they got 4 runs off of him in the 2nd inning, and that's not going to help him get away from that cold streak. We bounce back the following day in a 9-2 win where Brent Rooker hits 2 home runs, and then we add 3 more in 6 scoreless innings from Noble Meyer. Another chance for Freddie Peralta. His 4th start is against the 82-win defending champion Cleveland Guardians. And I see we gave up 3 runs in the 1st and then none till the 8th inning. And the Guardians take this game 12-11. Peralta does end up with a quality start, but it was a very strange game with a whole lot of offense. Suddenly, the Marlins have lost 4 games in a row, which hasn't happened very many times this year. Our lead is still pretty comfortable, though, in the East. We bounce back with back-to-back victories. We defeat the Red Sox 14-4. Hank Holder goes yard twice. He's now hitting .270, while Ryan Pepio gives us 6 innings. Oh yeah, I'm reminded I wanted to check on a game from the Giants where they won 18-0. Amari Cora had 9 RBIs. He did so with 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 home runs. I think a grand slam has to be in there somewhere, potentially 2 of them. All right, Freddie Peralta facing the Cardinals, and now he has a scoreless stretch going deeper into this game. 2 on. Matt Watley is the batter. Peralta just at 50 pitches. Still time to get on a roll ahead of October. Strike 2. He got him on a 12-6 curve. But nobody scored. Hank Holder attempting to change that with a runner at 3rd base. Oh, that sweeper I could not lay off.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And jammed. It's behind first, and it falls in! What a bloop hit for Hank Holder! Just drop between 2 defenders in the perfect spot. One of the luckiest hits of the entire franchise. That's hilarious. And it nearly landed on the chalk, too. The second half is Hank's time. There's just no slowing him down. Freddie Peralta still in the game in the 6th inning, but now the tying run is standing on second with very good speed.
Ball.
And we're on milestone watch. Freddie Peralta, 1,997 strikeouts in his career. Not going to get one here. It's an out to Joe Brown. And now we've got a guy attempting to win a batting title in Johnny Rowley. Well, a swing and a miss gets us closer. Popped up from Lucan Baker. Johnny Grieve in foul territory has it. And now just one out away. It's Alex Verdugo standing between Freddie and 6 scoreless. And he struck him out. 1998 for Peralta. And the Marlins go on to win this game. Nice job. 6-0. We tack on some more late. And Peralta would go deeper into the game. He actually goes 8 frames. It's his best outing as a Marlin. He did not strike out anybody else, though, so he's still too shy at 2,000 strikeouts. Peralta gets those 2 strikeouts in his next outing against the Blue Jays. And Xavier Edwards suffers a minor injury, an inflamed hip. He'll miss 1 to 2 weeks. Might be good for a 10-day injured list stint, as it looks like Peralta did run into some trouble eventually and takes the loss. I think we have to call up the guy that's just been crushing it to replace him at second base. Aubrey Fenner has 14 homers, batting .329 down at Double-A. He can play second base and the entire outfield. His progression this year tells you just how dominant he's been. One of the best overall hitters at Triple-A. And I think it's time to call him up. Aubrey Fenner joins the 40-man roster. And rosters are about to expand anyway, so I think that he'll be on our 26-man roster the rest of the year, which, adding him now, does make him playoff eligible. Marcelo Meyer has hit under 200 this year, so I don't think that he's earned those everyday at-bats. But what I could see us doing a little bit of is playing Connor Norby at second base. It's still one of his secondary positions. And then Doug Butcher could earn some starts. Oh, well, I didn't realize that we had just lost to Edward Cabrera in that last game to the Blue Jays. But I think we're going to end our action here. And next episode, we'll get in some more games and prepare for the postseason. I'd like to get in some more action before we get to those October games and see if anything happens in terms of injuries or players trending up or down, as we decide on the roster that should take us into October. We are 7.5 games up right now in the East. The Dodgers still have the best record in the National League. We have 2 players now in the 30 home run club, and there could be more coming. Johnny Grieve just keeps hitting home runs. The progression this year is out of control. He's up to an 85 now. Where did this come from, Johnny? I mean, every time I check the last 10, he's hit 3 or 4 home runs, and he's never been hotter. And of course, we'll see how the pitching staff looks going into the postseason. This feels like it was a very up and down day for Freddie Peralta, making his first starts as a Marlin. He is down to a 90 overall from 91, and we did trade for him, of course, at 33 years old, so regression has to be considered. But I also look at his hit per 9 being an 87 and think that makes him a little bit more likely to play well into his mid and late 30s. So we acquired him with this Milwaukee start first. Everything above that was here in this episode. Most of the starts have been solid. A couple haven't been. But we have been successful in getting him out of his cold stretch. So now, 1 month to hopefully gain some momentum going into the postseason. And it is very good to see the form that Shane Baz and Kyle Harrison are in. Harrison leads the team right now in pitching WAR. and has improved upon his breakout season a year ago in San Francisco. But we can look forward now to some more playing time for Doug Butcher as he chases that first career home run, and I'd love to see him take over Xavier Edwards' spot in the lineup while he's on the injured list. With the high contact and the high plate vision, I've thought about him as the overall Xavier Edwards replacement in terms of offensive role. Obviously, they play very different positions. And then we should also see Aubrey Fenner get a chance to make his debut. With his numbers and overall, there was no way I was just going to leave him down at the minor leagues. And in case there is some kind of an injury, a player of his caliber has now become playoff eligible. But I love your thoughts on today's episode. Obviously, a big one with the massive trade of Yuri Perez. I don't know that Freddie Peralta is going to win everybody over quite yet, but even if he was flawless, the October games are going to tell the story of this trade if it was the right move for us. And we're going to be there before you know it. So thank you again for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the final episode of Year 6 regular season.